Let you know. Let you know. Let you know. Let you know.
Yes. Welcome to the Let You Know podcast. It's your boy EK in the building. How's everybody doing today?
I'm good, y'all. I'm in the White Castle drive-through, so I'm good, y'all. I had to come get some food, so I'm real live tonight. Okay.
Okay. Real live tonight. NOOZ, what's cracking?
Man, I ain't at White Castle, but I'm moving and grooving, trying to get some things done. You know what I mean? What up, though?
What's up, man?
And then we got Bobby Johnson in the house. What's up, Bobby Johnson?
What's up, y'all?
We're chilling, man. Trying to get something popping tonight. Got the beautiful ski. We got Mr. Bobby Johnson on OG Bobby Johnson.
Yeah, my daughter, she in here trying to run stuff, so I might have to turn my mic off every now and then because she like to come in and wreck shit. So,
Oh,
What we popping off about tonight?
well, I want to pop off about Trump, man. I mean, let's talk about the president of the United States today, man. I mean, we hardly ever talk about him. I mean, we did talk about him on the show before, but I want to know personally, why do people think that Trump don't like black people? And I'm gonna start with Bobby Johnson down there. I want you to answer that for me. Why do you think? Why do you think
why do
people think Trump don't like black people?
well, I mean,
Oh, what?
if you want to go far back, I mean, it starts where when him and his daddy, own property, and he wouldn't rent to black people, he wouldn't sell to black people, and that's where it's like he discriminates right there. Um, and I get it because it's like I remember my grandparents, they were telling me how when they were looking to buy a house, and this was back in the 60s, in 68, and they said they were basically ignored. And that would be, pretty much, I could see Trump doing that to them back then, except it wasn't him, but I'm sure a lot of people went through the same stuff that my grandparents did, as far as getting turned away, ignored, because he didn't want to rent out to black people or sell to them. And that's the old Trump.
That's the old Trump.
Yeah. Tiger doesn't change its stripes. And then the Central Park Five. You can read about that.
So I see we got a new person down here. Old soul, new role, huh? How you doing, my man?
Eric, it's Pat.
What's up, Pat?
What's up, Pat?
Yeah, I'm not new, but you thing, man.
Your connection is going in and out, man.
Yeah, go on. I want to hear some more before I speak.
Okay. All right, Ski. I'm gonna ask you, why you think Trump don't like black people?
I disagree about him not liking black people. So let me say why I disagree. Because listen, everybody, Democrats were the people who made the redlining. Okay. So I think it's like propaganda. I say the fact that he didn't rent to black people, maybe his experience with black people him have a choice that he said, I'm not going to rent to black people, because a lot of people can have their own preference. I mean, I'm just saying, in those times, a lot of people did that, but it was the Democrats who made the law, who ousted
Yes.
us, who didn't let us get property, who didn't want us in their community, who didn't want any of that. So, I mean, you know, I'm just going to say we pick and choose who you want to say is racist, because he wasn't
Exactly.
racist in the 80s with the Jet magazines and with Mike Tyson and Michael Jordan and, you know, all the elites and moving and shaking and rubbing elbows. So I just feel like people 5, Central Park 5, well, the Democrats was the prosecutor and the judges, and he put his little ad out. He's a jerk. I'll definitely give you that. Does he probably like his people, you know, because he's a white man? I mean, who would? I'm a black woman. I mean, I'm pro-black, but I'm not gonna say he's racist. Preferential, maybe, but I just feel like he's not racist. I think he's just an old man who's set in his ways. And you know, my daddy was a mug. You know, he died at 80. He was a motherfucker. Okay. So I'm just gonna say, if he was a president, he might not be to the liking of a so no.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions. I have a couple quotes for you. So one quote is, if you don't know who you're voting for in this election, you're not black. That's one quote.
Whoa.
The second, yeah,
whoa,
1 second.
Hold on. You can't just go past that one.
I'm not going past it, Eric. I'm giving
okay.
you a secondary quote.
Oh.
And the secondary quote is, and I don't know this verbatim, but the person walked into a group of black voters and said something to the akin of the same thing. Basically, how are you brothers not voting for XYZ in a public forum? So we're going to go, you know, first and second. The first quote, who do you think said that?
Biden.
Thank you. I was going to say, somebody knows. Biden said that. So, you know,
Biden,
white
that was
guy,
his word, quote unquote,
Democrat.
air quote. That was him.
Yep. And the second one that walked into a group of black people and said he doesn't understand you brothers voting for who you're voting for.
Obama.
That was Barack Obama.
Obama.
Yep. So I mean, you come on here and you're saying, you know, Trump is racist, Trump is this and that. There is no backing for that. I mean, if you want to say that MAGA and people in MAGA, his supporters, are racist, you can't even say that to an extent. Some of them are. A lot of them, like if you look at the videos for like these rallies and stuff they did, black people actually went to these rallies expecting to get called it and, you know, be racist towards, and all they did is welcome them, bring them in, give them a beer and things like that. Like, people watch CNN and NBC and Fox News that are so slanted that they get these views and they never bother to go out and look for the research themselves. All you can really go off of is what people said. That's why I brought up those quotes, because everybody thinks the Democrats, you know, they're perfect. They love black people and all that. But when you look at the democratically ran cities of LA, NYC, Chicago,
they're shitty as hell.
They are terrible cities. They don't do anything for black people. That's what Democrats do. They tell you what they're going to do before the election. They're going to help all the black people and give them up and all this kind of shit. And as soon as they get elected, nothing happens. So, and you got to remember too, the party of the KKK. Who created the KKK?
Indiana, Evansville, somewhere in Indiana. But anyway,
yep, in Mooresville, Indiana too. But that was
right
also
about that. Yep, it started. The KKK started here in Indianapolis,
and it was started by Democrats.
Indianapolis. It wasn't Indianapolis.
No, it was Alabama.
It was
my bad. You right, Alabama. But yeah, Indiana, though, they do have Ku Klux Klans here still to this day.
Yeah, but like the Klan for something like that. I mean, everybody knows here in 2025 that anybody that's in the Klan is a fucking pussy. I mean, they wear fucking robes, they go out and burn shit, but they'll never come up to somebody face to face. That's why they got cops around them at their fucking rallies. Like, I've met some Klansmen, I've met some Aryan Brotherhood people, things like that. All they do is be mad all day, but they don't do nothing about it. So, and that's kind of off topic of what I was talking about. Like, you got to do some research. Like, just because someone tells you someone is racist, go look for the signifiers, go look for quotes, go look for laws that they put in place. And if none of that is racist,
man, this man just pardoned Larry Hoover, bro. Come on, man. Lil Wayne, like, come on, let's be real, man. Like, I mean, he just somebody old ass granddaddy that had a little more bourbon and whiskey and got a mic on. Like, let's call it a P. Because if my daddy was president right now, 82 years old, Bill Gray, be a motherfucker, he'd be solid, but he gonna be off the mic, hot mic all the time because he's an 82-year-old man from Mississippi. that grew up military, you know what I'm saying, being called a boy and all kind of shit, but making relationships, traveling the world, he will be a hot mic because he's 82 years old and his demographics he grew up in. But he'll be a solid man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like you got to take Trump with the good and the bad with his rhetoric because he's old as hell, you know. And I just think people they want to create a divide between Americans. That's the thing. And I feel like they try to use Trump as that catapult for it, and I'm not going. And I voted for him now. And now everybody want to know. I told the world today. I sure did.
Let me know. Let me know if I'm mistaken. Let me know if I'm mistaken, y'all. But didn't Trump like give like sign some paperwork for HBCUs too?
Yep, he sure did, and Biden did it. And then look, Biden gave the 90 million in his second, his second term, right? He gave him 90 million. But guess what? They start complaining and shit. They only gave him 5 to split among 20 schools. I'm like, damn, how they go from 90 to 5 between 20 some plus schools or however many schools they got? You know what I'm saying? All they do is sway and bait and switch with black people. Just people, period. Really, man. I've been learning in the last 3 years when COVID happened. I realized that it ain't no damn, yeah, they got the black white thing, but I think it's a poor rich thing. Shit, at this point,
it's all about class.
Yeah,
I think
it's
they
about
cutting
class.
out the. Yeah, you're right. They
It's
cutting
not
out
about
the middle
and
class.
I think they try to keep us black and white and other demographics separated with this Trump shit, and he racist and he don't like this and he don't like that. No, bitch, they don't like poor. That's what it is. You're poor, middle class. They're trying to wipe the middle class out so it could be one class of people, rich or poor. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that middle.
Yep.
And they've been attacking the middle for the last decade. And really the last 5 strong, because COVID hurt a lot of small businesses, black people, white, brown, green, blue, whatever. It was the middle class to working class people and poor people. Shit. So it ain't, I think that's just propaganda to try to get us off track.
No, we're not off track. I want to know what Mr. Johnson, what do you got to say to what everybody's saying about that?
I mean, but I mean, he wants to. I mean, you look at things he's said in the past where, like, he's belittled people, and every opportunity where he can say somebody's of color is stupid, he'll say it.
Yeah, but look at his actions. Don't look at what he says. Trump says dumb shit all day. I mean, he got kicked off of Twitter at some point for just saying dumb shit. Like, you got to look at his actions, what he's done and what he hasn't done. Like, if he was a racist person, like, to the heart, there would be laws enacted, sneaky laws. He'd be cutting welfare, he'd be cutting things like that. And, welfare is its own fucking topic. But I understand where you're coming from. And, like, Skis, like, she's talking about her dad or grandfather from Mississippi, like, of course. And I wouldn't even blame him for saying people are racist because that's all he saw, And I think another thing too, it matters where you come from on your perspective. So, shortly, I'm from the hood and things like that. I grew up in a middle class, but I spent most of my time in the damn hood, and, around black people, Mexican people, all kinds of colors. So I hear it every day, all their opinions and their worries and things like that. But then you get the people on the TV trying to tell you how to live or what to think. And it's all liberal white women who have never stepped foot in the hood, let alone seen a black person outside TV on a football game. So, I mean, it's hard sometimes because, you get these talking points from these people on TV, and most of these people are just repeating shit they heard.
Well,
so you got to be.
Well, for me, with me growing up, I heard a lot of rappers, a lot of actors bring Trump's name up, when it comes to riches and,
right,
status. So I'm trying to figure out what happened from that point to this point to where we was like, man, we don't like Trump. Trump is a racist, because as far as I knew, he was just a celebrity, And Johnson, I would love for you to go into detail about that what you said, the Central Park 5?
Yeah.
And how is it tied into Trump? Because most people don't know about that story. Some people, they probably seen the documentary, but most people don't know about that. You want to explain to them just a little bit?
Yeah, so
You breaking up?
Yep, audio's
You
out.
hear me?
Yeah.
Are you breaking up?
All right, let him figure out his audio issues
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah, figure out your audio real quick.
I'm gonna go to what Eric said. You said all of it seems like all of a sudden the hood went from loving Trump and things like that to hating him.
And it's more so, and Pat, it's more so like our elders. Like when I was growing up, most people in my age group, they usually be rapping about Trump, bringing Trump as like a status,
right?
you know. And I always knew him as a celebrity. I always knew that he had money, you know, his dad had money and stuff like that. But then it got to a point where we just all of a sudden just called him a racist, you know, because back then we weren't calling him no racist. I wasn't hearing anybody calling him a racist back in the day.
Yeah. So this is exactly what happened. The moment Trump became a quote unquote racist was the moment he announced that he was running for president. And not this time, but the previous time.
Oh, you talking about the first time?
Yes. Nobody talked about
against Reverend Jesse Jackson.
When he beat Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So the moment he ran for president, the rumors started coming.
Yep.
This is what politics is. They don't politics anymore is a reality TV show. That's all it fucking is. And what happened was the Democrats, since every time they make a play when they're trying to run for president, office, and this and the other, they always bring color into it. That's all they fucking care about when they run. They try to say, yeah, we're for the minorities. You can't vote for the racist Republicans. So as soon as Trump ran for office, they got to work on that shit. They tried to find anything they could in his past to make him look even remotely racist, and they built an entire campaign. Remember the Kamala campaign? She didn't have anything to say about herself. She didn't have anything to say about her accomplishments. It was just Trump is a racist, over and over and over.
And she was a part of the Divine Nine.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Yeah, go ahead, Ski.
So basically, all Kamala was saying was like, I'm an AKA, I'm a part of the, the Boule, the sororities. She was just basically saying, I'm a part, like basically trying to say to black women, I'm a black girl, so I'm an AKA. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. That's the Divine Nine. That's the sororities and the fraternities. You know what I'm saying? So she's basically saying like, hey, black people, I'm a part of the black culture because I'm a part of the Divine Nine. AKA skinny.
Which to me shows the demographic she was going for, because forget my mother's an AKA, you know what I mean? So I know how serious black women, right? So I know how serious black women take that shit. So yeah, you're right. There was definitely a goal that she was trying to meet, a base that she was trying to touch with that. So I agree with you. And she didn't like Pete said, she wasn't saying nothing. You would ask her a question, she wouldn't answer any questions. She would just keep repeating these stories that nobody asked about.
My grandmother, when I was 91 years old, told me that I could be this and I could do that.
Right.
Single mother with her own two hands, we tethered together in the home. And girl, shut the hell up. You Bohemian, girl. You the top of the food chain in India, girl. Shut up and sit down.
And not to mention, like, your stories about like cooking green or washing greens and stuff. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That was so derogatory. That was derogatory.
I think we use the word racist too loosely these days, man, because
I agree.
A real racist is like somebody said, not going to be pardoning. What's my man? What's the gang leader? No, what's the gang leader?
Larry Hoover.
Yeah. President, a racist is not going to be trying to do that, or like you said, rappers and racists don't like that race. So if you're going to be a racist person, then you like you said, like Pete said, you got to follow his actions, not some of the. He might say some ignorant shit because remember, he's not a politician.
He's
just
like
I'm not a politician.
He's
that's what I always remember him as, an actor, an entertainer. It's just like with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, you get so popular, it's like, or Ronald Reagan, you get so popular in the public eye, you can run for office and you might win. That's just how it goes. But Bobby, I want. Did you get your audio down, Pat? Did you want to?
Which says a lot about us. says about a lot about us as people.
Well, that's the thing, Evan, is, you know, if you can be played that easy by a party, then you get what you deserve.
They said divide and conquer. You divide us, and they can conquer us.
But you got to look at the Democrats. Like, that's the problem. And I want to say this too. I am not a Democrat or Republican. Fuck both sides.
I'm not neither one. Neither.
But right now in history, the Democrats are, you know, they're the actual enemy of what's kind of going on in here, because they lost all their power real quick.
Yep, and they don't know what to do.
And you want to talk about Biden? I want to talk about Biden for like 2 seconds.
Hold on. Before you go,
yeah,
I want to see if Bobby Johnson.
His audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and explain to us about the Central Park Five. You know, if some people out there don't know about the story, because it is a documentary out there.
So, this woman, you know, and I guess it was in a park, and it was late at night, and she got raped and murdered, and I guess there was like 5 black young men that were in the vicinity, and, you know, and they basically picked them up. They thought they were the suspects. And Trump, he was outraged because I guess this woman, you know, had lived next to one of his properties. And so he was outraged, and I don't know if he was trying to sway somebody a certain way or whatever, or appease to somebody, but he said, yeah, they're guilty, and yeah, they pretty much locked him up just because he said that.
No, that's incorrect, Mr. Johnson. No. Mr. Johnson, hold on, let's keep it P. I'm a future lawyer. I'm a buff history. This is what I do. No, that's not correct or accurate. No, he put an ad out in the paper saying they were guilty, saying that they were there, basically saying, implying their guilt. Let's get something straight. The prosecutor for that case, the Central Park Five, was a Democrat. The attorney general was a Democrat. So everybody that was writing about that.
Hold on, you get your chance. Hold on.
I was just saying that I'm just getting the facts. Like, they didn't get locked up because Trump said it. No, he put an ad out in the New York Times saying they were guilty. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, why?
Go ahead, Johnson.
Why would you make statements like that if you don't?
Sir, Mr. Johnson, look, let me just say something, okay? Everybody makes statements, right? This is America. If people have said some devious shit, we done some devious shit, and we done came and grew from it. So even if he did say some shit back when he was 25, 28 with money, arrogant, cocky, like a lot of 28-year-old smart mouths jerks do when they got the bag and they nepotized and stuff like that, he said some jerk off shit. But everybody says things. If we look at all the great historians, the history of America and other people, we went from lynching, cutting off nuts to we shall overcome. You know what I mean? So if we sit there and harsh on what, you know, all these greats and all these generals said and did, we wouldn't have none of them. But we look at past what they did, their atrocities, and say what their triumphs are. So everybody have said some silly things, and our history have done some silly shit. But we can't just stand on the silly shit. We have to see what growth they done had since then. And he was young. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I just feel like people say shit all the time. We can't just stand on what they say. We got to come get their actions. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, Mr. Johnson, but also, I just feel like a lot of people do that.
He was also really good friends with a sexual trafficker in Epstein. Because
was everybody else. I mean, that whole Epstein thing is all over the fucking place. I mean, I'm not trying to say Trump is a good person.
Even if he was a freak, that don't mean he's a racist. My bad. Go ahead, Pete.
No. That's you know, you can't conflate those two issues. I don't like Trump. I think he's a douchebag, personally, and a loudmouth and arrogant and all that kind of stuff. But you got to go back to what he can and cannot do. A guy that owns some buildings, some millionaire in New York, can't go in a courtroom and smash a gavel and be like, "Y'all motherfuckers is guilty."
Hey, but guess what? Ain't nobody saying this though about Donald Trump. He's never been a treasury, a secretary, a motherfucking pencil pusher. He's never been a clerk. He ain't never did nothing in this establishment, man. And they really mad that this man who was saying, "You're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired." is now running the country. Let's keep it P now. He ain't got no nepotism in it with it. Daddy might have money, but his daddy ain't in that political game. It ain't got no great grandfathers in the trainer to treat that little 8-year-old black girl chased back to all of them being connected. Okay, so let's just call it apple. He a regular degler smuggler that he hustled up on some whatever and got in that motherfucking White House, and he moving it how he wants to, and he's showing us the pork spending with all the Doge. I mean, is it right? But guess what? A federal government, we couldn't even get no call. We had to be on IRS line for 5 hours, but it's fully staffed. Get the hell off the job. Can't nobody get through.
You want to respond, Johnson? You want to respond?
Well, I know, with him having that, I don't even know if it's not even a government agency, but Doge, what you're talking about, they basically were in charge of trying to figure out ways to make cuts, and they basically laid off a lot of people. And
they wasn't working no way, Mr. Johnson. You call the IRS, it takes 4 hours to just get a fucking, hello, this is Sheminsky at the IRS. I mean, come on, man. If it's fully staffed 2,200 people, I was a call center manager. There's no way the queue is ever that wrapped up when y'all got every seat in that building filled up. Y'all ain't that, come on.
I will say, Mr. Johnson, that you are correct in that Doge setup with Elon Musk is suspect as fuck and shouldn't be a part of the government.
I agree.
Because Elon, if you go back to like when he bought Twitter for like $9 billion, he wasn't buying Twitter because he wanted to be the owner of some awesome social platform. He bought Twitter for receipts. There was a huge database connected with Twitter that holds all the tweets
had made, deleted,
from years and years and years ago. So he wanted that information. But I do agree with you that Doge shit and this Elon Musk and Trump shit's got to go. I mean, it's so fucking.
But he already dismantled that. Him already dismantled that.
Down to a skeleton crew. So
now
you have, people they can't get a hold of anybody. They can't get. There's nobody to talk to in the office because they're overwhelmed.
It wasn't nobody talking to them.
Who is they? Who is they though?
Like the cabinet.
Elderly people.
Okay.
Fine. These people, a lot of them don't even know how to use the internet. But
no. But remember who's at fault for this. Why is Trump the president right now? Is he the president because he's the best candidate? No, he probably wasn't
the only one we had.
No.
The most recognizable.
He's the president because Kamala Harris fucked her fucking base.
She sure did. And the Democrats just slid her dusty ass in there without even going to a damn, convention or nothing. I just picked this lady. Like, y'all didn't even that's how I voted for Trump, because y'all didn't even give us no choice. I just slid the bitch in there. Said Biden was stepping down because he was sick or senile, and here she comes. Hey, Joe, that's Kamala's. I was running. Girl, shut up.
That's the thing. Like, if you look back at Kamala's past, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, she never won a political office. She never won a popular vote. She didn't even win the primary in her own fucking county.
Yeah, they basically handed.
She was given every title up to vice president. The only reason Biden selected her is because she was black. He needed that vote for the second term.
And she was a pushover because they ain't put Stacey Abrams, because Stacey Abrams ain't no plaything.
So when
there was too much power in there.
So when she started campaigning, she, like we talked about earlier, fucking greens in the bathtub telling her fucking stories about her grandmama. And we didn't like that to begin with, because it's not politics. It's not telling us what you're going to do for the country. But I think the real thing that killed her campaign was late in the campaign. She was spending 80, 90, $100 million just to get like Beyonce and Sexy Red to come to her fucking shows. Like,
I've seen that.
Right.
Sexy Red, Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Meg Thee Stallion, all them.
So she basically told the black demographic, you are stupid. I'm going to put these hip hop heads on the TV and you're going to fucking vote for me, even though I have never won a political office and I have no idea what I'm doing. I change my accents depending on what crowd and what part of the country I'm talking to. So for Trump being president, he didn't win the presidency. He was gifted the presidency by the Democrats.
You got something to say, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
But I just want to make it very clear. I didn't like Kamala Harris.
Audio.
Yep, your audio. Say it one more time for me.
I didn't care for Kamala Harris, to be honest with you, and I thought Biden should not have tried to run a second time. He told his own party he was only going to run one term.
Mm-hmm.
when he beat Trump because he was too old to run a second time.
Do you guys believe that the president, the actual president on the TV, literally runs the country?
They know, hell no. Anybody that think they're smoking crack.
Which means
there's
that
always people behind the
somebody else
scenes that
had
don't
the
want to be on camera is basically running the country. It's a
cabal above them. It's the military industrial complex. Like, why aren't we in war right now? Because Trump wants to go to war? No, it's because the military industrial complex.
Israel wanted to go to war, goddamn it. So America, they puppet said dump scoop to the dude, da. Goddamn it, that's why. Because they yanked the military complex, which is America, our military, yanked them and said, get on over there.
That's why Trump on the news cussing. He mad as hell.
Yes. They know
Wait,
what
I gotta say something. I'm representing. Even though y'all lost, I'm still representing, man.
Thank you.
I'm still representing.
Shout out to the Pacers. Thank y'all what y'all did.
I see Charles down there. This for you, Charles. This for you. This for you, Evan. This for y'all.
Yeah, that was the greatest playoff run I've ever seen. You know, been watching basketball since a little fucking kid. I haven't been that excited about basketball in general in the last couple of years since, you know, Reggie Miller was dropping three threes in like 9 seconds type of shit. I mean, Halliburton went on the most legendary run I've ever seen, and it got cut right at the last fucking minute. And we will never know what type of game that should have been. So, you know, props to Tyrese Halliburton.
So I got a question, host. So what do y'all? So what would you sum up? I guess the Trump like black people or not?
I mean, it's confusing to me though, because my mom, she's a strong black woman, you know.
And my dad is too. You know, my dad told me. Go ahead, I'll let you go first.
No, you go first. Go ahead.
My daddy is a strong black militant black man, military, several tours, okay? And what he said to me before he left here about Trump and when he was there in 16 till 2020, he said to me, that man, he an old white man. He said he ain't no oligarch, he ain't no blue. He doing what he want to do, because he can do what he want to do, and he going to get the people behind him. He said he going to have the oligarchs poking at him, because he going to be defiant. And that nigga defiant. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like,
either you with them or you against.
All I'm saying is my daddy was just like, I'd rather know what somebody is. My dad always told me it's best to know the person versus not knowing. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather know that you're how you are, doing what you do with your ideology that you have, versus trying to play in my face like you something that you're not. You know what I mean?
He's consistent about who he is.
Yes.
He's not changing up.
Yes.
Like people got mad about the mean tweets, and it's like he's just saying what the fuck everybody else is thinking.
Right.
And you gotta remember, he's a New Yorker too. He's a New Yorker too.
And I like that. I like that. So yes, I feel like I like that because I'd rather know. I don't want to like Democrats just be playing out in our face and shit, trying to be nice and chummy and shit. And that man just raw. Hell no. Nope.
I feel like all politicians is like that. He's the first politician that I've ever seen that's raw.
And it's because he's not
let me ask y'all this. You said, Pat, you're neutral, you're independent, right? Ski, you said you independent.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, what is you? You Republican, Democrat, what?
I'm a registered Democrat, but I want to change my party to independent.
Yeah, I was a registered Democrat. In high school I was, but then it doesn't matter what you registered as.
To be Democrat. I'm asking you, why did you decide to be Democrat?
I was one for a long time, Mr. Johnson.
So it was kind of hard for me because my grandparents raised me, and they come from a time where there was a lot of discrimination towards black people. And this is what I was saying like earlier in the segment, that they had told me like they were looking to buy a house, with their own money and basically pay cash for it. And they were turned away, ignored, and everything else. And they had to get with a black investor that had already bought a bunch of land basically to sell to black people. Because other than that, the house they wanted, they would have never got.
Okay.
But Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm looking at. But to answer your question, so my grandpa was a registered Republican, but a Republican from, the party has changed big time. Because, like, Democrat, I feel like now, I don't know, it's kind of like up in the air because both sides, even Republican, it's not like middle of the road.
No, it's the extremes, and that's another problem as well. Is you don't hear from the middle of the road the people that are like I consider, like I said, I'm an independent, and I'm an independent because my views are my views. I don't think about a party first, but if you take my views in like a list, you would see some views that would align with the left, and you would see some views that align with the right. But
Right.
people don't want to hear people that have some logic in their thought, and they think about things from just like a personal perspective. They want to hear from the crazy motherfuckers from the lunatic left, and they want to hear some crazy motherfuckers from MAGA because that draws views. I said earlier, this is like a reality TV show now. That's why. All people care about is likes, reacts, how many comments you get on the video, how many views you get. So the more wild shit you say, the more it's going to play.
Clickbait.
The whole thing where he sent the military to L.A. To me, that was just a distraction.
Yeah, in a way, that's the problem too. Like I was talking to my dad's wife the other day, and she stays
Y'all
on
talking
CNN.
about ICE, right? We talking
Yeah,
about ICE.
Are we on a new topic, guys? Because
we're just
I'm
kind of
tired of seeing
flowing.
Trump
We
like
flowing. We
black
flowing.
people.
Yeah, we just flowing right now, but
Okay,
yeah,
my
this is a
bad.
new
Okay,
topic.
go ahead,
Yep.
my bad. I'm
No,
sorry.
you
So
good. You good.
the ICE thing. If you look at CNN's version of what's going on in LA, they're going to tell you, "Oh, it's just a couple dumpsters on fire. It's just one street. We're fine." But if you go out and find some video and stuff for yourself and just look at a bunch of shit, that city was under siege. They
So
were
do you think
attacking
it's
cops.
Trump's
They were
fault?
blowing shit
No,
up.
they're out there
Would you
sending
blame
agents out
Trump?
there. They're
Would
out
you
there
blame
sending
Trump?
agents out there.
No, they're trying to downplay the thing like it's just some protest downtown for a day. So what Trump did sending in the National Guard, while I do believe he's stepping on a thin line of posse comitatus, it was a show of force, and within like 2 days they had that city back under control. And
Okay, because Newsom is a pushover. Newsom be
yes.
with that shit too. Newsom be trying to push some shit too. Newsom ain't innocent. Newsom plays that innocent old pillar ass for the community, but he be on some sinister slick shit too though. So Trump had talked to Newsom before he even did all that. Newsom be acting like he don't be in communication with Trump and all this in the White House and all that, and he be playing the middle all the time. So Newsom is a no for me, and he be playing the middle, and it be propaganda to me.
Well,
But
Newsom is
I just feel
also
like it'd be a lot in Cali.
But because as
Yeah,
the
go
government,
ahead.
Trump can't just override him because that actually went to court, and the federal court told Trump, no, you need to back off.
Well, that's what I was talking about, posse comitatus. It's a piece in the Constitution that says you can't use troops on American soil.
Citizens on soil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
American citizens. That's the key word
But he
there.
wasn't. But think about it. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, man, people just need to start thinking critically, man. Like, quit letting somebody tell you on a damn TV, the same people that charge you $2,500 to do whatever, taxes, do whatever. Quit thinking they telling us the damn truth all the time. Take about 1% of what the hell they saying and do the research yourself.
But that's how they used to get our elders, whether it be white
can I tell you
people
something? I
or
think
black people. Because think about it like this. Think about it like this.
From the
Hey, let
1800s
EK
to the
talk real quick.
1900s was from the 1800s after slavery till the 1900s, black people had so much like livelihood, jobs, careers, community. So we ain't done by far. We get it. You know what I mean? We just our elders handled it different. And they move more strategically and more methodical and more, with discipline. So it may appear that they was and all that. Yeah, but they had a clear-cut plan to the end goal. And they executed it the way they did. But they wasn't naive. They just had it's more than one way to skin a cat, and it's chestnut checkers. You know what I'm saying? So I think
I just look at it like this. You remember how all our parents probably used to religiously watch the evening news at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whenever the news came on.
Not mine.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I used to see it religiously. Everybody used to wait for the 10 o'clock news. Like that was the thing. And whatever was on the news, people would believe it.
Exactly.
You know, whether it be about a side of a town, you know, or a black on black crime. And that's another thing. Why don't we get in an uproar when there's black on black crime, but then if somebody else
it's the news. It's the news is not here to educate you, and that, you know that because every single news.
It's bound by 5 families that propaganda and show us the same repetitive shit every day, all day, 24/8.
But yeah, you got to look at something when somebody talks. Like if somebody has to tell you they're real, you know, I'm a real motherfucker. Like they ain't a real motherfucker. Like in the news, every time they come on the TV, they're saying this is the site for facts. This is where you get your facts. This is, you know. So you go, like you talking about the old generation watching TV. Well, they thought that the news was actually there to tell them the truth. But as she just said,
why I ain't trying to be funny, but why y'all keep thinking people back in the day was dumb? They wasn't dumb. They watched.
No, they're not dumb. No. I'm saying they were tricked because they didn't have the access to information that we do.
I mean, I give it, but I just think people need to put the legwork in. I don't give a fuck if you 25 or 55, 95. I mean, 95, you almost out of here. But you need, you know, I think, because this is the thing, if anybody's been to school and took an A&P class or just took an English 5 class, you know that you cannot even trust a .com for no, you cannot use a .com and no paper as a source, period. Not no college, no university, nobody. And anybody that say a teacher took a motherfucking .com, you went to an unaccredited university or public, wherever you went. Because you know you can't trust nothing from a .com. So for people to be getting on here, looking at shit that's on TikTok, and I mean, you get the information from there, get the idea, but go look it up for yourself. People need to start doing the legwork, because that's what my whole thing about the election was. I was out there getting people to, you know, just tell people what was going on both sides. And people was just like, oh, no, they too black, and he this and he that. But what else do you know? What else? You know why? Because you don't know your councilman, you don't know your statesman, you don't even know your local people, you don't know nobody, but you worry about the goddamn federal level, baby. Worry about the local level and crawl before you walk, because get the understanding of what the whole system do. I think people need to understand what the system, how it works. I think people don't really understand. I think when they did that part in school, people just looked over there because they thought they never were going to use it, but you're going to be an adult. So you have to take part in the, you know, your civic duty.
Yeah, going off of that, what you just said, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, voting in your state is actually more important than, you know, voting for the president, because, you know,
sure is.
You can control a lot more, you know, in your local elections than you can national elections.
Yeah, because nothing gets changed nationally on a regular basis that's actually going to affect your life. But what affects your life is what happens local. So, yeah, you really need to pay attention to your locals and things like that. Like here in Indiana, we just elected Braun again, and he ain't doing shit he told us he's going to do.
Goddamn thing. He over here trying to get people drug out the goddamn floor because they're talking about one of his people being sexually harassing some damn body.
Yep.
Well, I'll be running for governor. I'll be running for governor 2029. So Shaminsky Gray.
Yeah.
Governor.
Hey, but I'm going to dip out for the night. Mr. Johnson, good speaking with you. Ski, good speaking with you.
Good speaking with you.
Eric, I'll see you next time. And I know Evan's hanging around in the background somewhere, so I'll get him later.
Yep.
Y'all have a great evening.
All right, Pat.
Appreciate it.
So wait, before we go, I want to get back on this. Does TV influence people? You said people ain't that dumb, but I've seen people like that's what social media it is.
But that's why so I grew up not watching TV. So that's why I'm the way that I am.
Okay, see,
because I didn't watch TV. We watched it on Fridays for TGIF and Saturday morning cartoons and Monday night football or Sunday night football. Before it's coming home, sitting there down in front of that TV, that was a fucking no. My daddy would beat your ass. We wrote sentences, we read books, encyclopedias, or we went running outside. So that TV shit, we didn't watch it because it's television. It's teleprogramming your ass to be and think like they want you to think. If you look at the research of the TV and the history of the TV and see how it multiplied in 2 to 3 years because how people got obese and lazy and other little sicknesses because they went from going outside and being with the family to being, you know, plugged into these TVs, doing what the shit they tell them to order. You know what I'm saying? Consumerism and shit like that. I had to take it from my daughter when she was 14 for dinner 2 years because I'm like, nigga, you keep asking me for shit that because you seeing Miley with it on Disney Channel. So yes, it does influence them. Yes.
So what you think, Mr. Johnson? Does TV influence the way people think?
I think it does. I also think there's too many people that only get their news from one source.
Yep.
Like people watch news, they're tuned in to the, more a conservative part of the news. Same thing where if somebody watches only MSNBC, they gonna be more, in tune with whatever, the strong left says. But that's why I think everybody should watch, like, if you watch like CBS World News, they cover everything. They're not lying to you. They're giving you the information for what it is.
Yeah, they is. I just feel like
60 Minutes,
social media, it's all tied in together because you got to be watching something for people to, because like nowadays people, they don't even teach nobody nothing. They just go on YouTube or they go on some type of
they just
internet or station that where you can look up something and bam, they can do it themselves. It's like DIY.
They get their course from basically like podcasts. That's,
You said like podcasts?
Podcasts are not news. It's somebody with their opinion,
Yep.
And they're trying to get followers. That's it. They could say, oh, well, the sky's purple, and I'm sure one of their followers are going to believe it, just because that's the way they get their news.
Yeah, I do. I really believe I do believe TV influences people because I know some older people, they watch the news and they see killings in certain areas and they'll think that's happening all the time. And it don't even be like that most of the time. It just be certain times of the day when stuff like that happens. But because and these are successful people. These ain't people that just sit around the house. I mean, these is people that got 9-to-5 jobs or they doctors, they lawyers, but then they look at the news and they think that one side, like say for instance, like now that I'm in Indiana, they'll think because they see the east side shows so many shootings on the news, they think that's all it be, but it don't be like that all the time. It's just certain times or at night.
Right.
I mean, so what you think? Like where you at? Where are you at, Mr. Johnson?
I'm in Nebraska.
So how is it at night? I mean, I'm pretty sure you watch the news too, right?
To be honest with you, I don't. I mean, I'll get my local news. It's really off my phone. I don't watch that much local. I should, but I don't watch that much local news. I watch more world news. I'm actually I pay attention really more like money trends and stocks and what things are like that on a daily basis.
I want to get into that. Just hold that thought. Ski, I'm gonna ask you because you did say you didn't watch TV growing up, but do you watch the news now?
I don't watch the news. I'm with Mr. Johnson. I'm more of a world news type of girl. You know what I'm saying? I get my news from like Australia, Sweden. You know what I'm saying? I get unedited.
Oh wait a minute. What they be saying? What they talking about?
They say unedited truths. You know what I'm saying? They take raw. You know what I'm saying? Because just like we assess other countries and give our take on what they got going on, they do the same thing for America. You know what I'm saying? They give us information, and I just read it from them. You know what I'm saying? Like I get on other .orgs and read other articles and journals and reviews.
So I'm thinking, ain't that a form of like influence? Like, cause you watching what you want to watch. It's almost like.
So what I'm saying is, I watch something that's more of a non-biased opinion. You know what I'm saying? So when you watch American our news and stuff, our information, it's people that write it to script it to give us a emotion.
Agenda. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I take it with a grain of salt. Then I go read that article from another perspective that to me may be a little more clear and that I can get more information from. Not saying that I'm saying their fact. I'm saying I get more information to be able to fill in the blanks. Hey mama. Hey girl.
Look, she couldn't wait.
Hey girl.
She couldn't wait.
Yep,
she couldn't wait. She could.
So I do that. I just take it. I just like to get other views because it just gives me more information that I can take to research the information for myself, because our information that's given to us is kind of limited a little bit. So I kind of like to get a different perspective from someone else that's outside of our scope. Yeah.
That's why I like watching CBS, because they give you pretty much a non-biased opinion, of what's going on, versus like Fox or MSNBC.
CBS, dude?
CBS?
I disagree. I just think CBS is a little more softer with their approach. I think they're more soft with it, and I think their tone and delivery is a little more soft, and their pieces are written a little more for a different side. You know what I'm saying? I think it's written for a more emotion type, base type, their tone and everything. I think I think it's just a little more soft for Mr. Johnson. I mean, it's cool. It ain't Fox. It ain't like in your face, like, yeah. And blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a little more smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's not offensive to the elders, or, it's not too woke for the millennials or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's an even kill.
Yeah, they don't give you misinformation, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So Mr. Johnson, what you say you watch?
CBS and CBS World News.
And so you said they give the unbiased opinions?
Yeah, they give you what's really going on.
Yeah, it tells you about what's going on around the world for the most part, but it's still like the soft shit. They ain't putting on there the trafficking, the motherfucking smuggling, the buggling. You know what I mean? They unless it's like really like war or something that's up to date right now, that's like really catastrophic, is what they talking about. You know what I mean? Because they could be talking about, they ain't talking about the Congo and all that. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing like that. You know what I mean? They talking about, Israel every day.
Yeah. All day long.
365. You know what I'm saying? So it's soft. But it's, it's world, it's news.
Israel.
Let's talk about that real quick. I just want to talk about that because that's just, I know you want to talk about the Stars, but I just want to just touch on that real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to know, how does Americans feel about their tax dollars going to Israel? Because, so a town in Texas, right, found out that their small town of 70,000 people is paying $4 billion to Israel, right? So the town wanted to write a new resolution to take their $4 million and put it into the roads, the police officer, the fire department, the education, wellness, just anything for this community, right? It's $4 million a year.
Yeah.
Do you know Government Abbott told them that if they did their resolution and did pay the money to Israel, that they would stop any federal funding coming to that town? So the mayor and all that town, right, revised the resolution. And they said that they wanted peace in Gaza. They just basically told them how they felt. You know what I mean? That they would get it for $1 million, but they wanted this as a resolution, right? So basically, girl, Abbott again threatening them, like, you can't do it. It can't do it because now it's a law in Texas that's been on the books in, like, I think the 1930 or 40 or something, right? They're saying that they have to pay the money to Israel, bro. Like, how do y'all feel about that? I just want to know how I just want to know.
I think that's crazy. That's the first time I've heard about that, but it doesn't surprise me because that governor down there is a piece of shit. And
that's a lot of, but look, when I did my research,
I agree.
But when I did my research, it's a lot of states that do that. It's 38 states that got anti-Semitic laws on the books if you don't want to give your money to Israel. That's my tax dollars, bro.
America, and this is what irritates me, we've been given way too much money to Israel. What have they done for us? Nothing. we've given.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Johnson, but that's the thing, though. Anytime that we don't have nothing going on, it's always something either with money or resources that we got going on with them. Reason why we help them. You know, America just don't help for no reason.
Because this the thing. Because this the thing. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if we're doing an hour or not, but I'm gonna say this. We do it because Kennedy was killed because Kennedy said there was gonna be no AIPAC. Yeah. That's why he was killed. He said he did not want no foreign alliance in this soil because it goes against the Constitution. Mm-hmm. To have an alliance like that in the United States of America. Because you only have one loyalty, one sovereignty, and that's to the United States of America. And they got to matter here in broad daylight. Secondly,
that's crazy.
Israel had more hands in the Atlantic slave trade, whatever it was. They had the 40% in it. They had more in it. Now you running ours. You know, basically we the dog, and they the owner, and that shit's done and played with. And that's why. But if I lived in Texas, I would move the fuck out because there's no way you're telling me the money that I work hard for, you're going to tell me I got to give it to these people and I can't put it back in my community. That's right. A little too much for me.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What you got to say on it? What you got to say?
It doesn't surprise me because, I mean, America, I know it's.
I want to call I've been calling my congressmen. I've been calling my people. Like, they hate me because I call. I'm an email them. I email them. Damn, baby. They hate to see me coming, baby. They hate to see that email. Because, baby, I email, call, and guess what? I write them down every time I call. And I write down when they call back. And I write down when they send back that bullshit-ass email. And then I reply back to that email. Because what the fuck? Y'all work for us. We don't work for y'all. And that's what Americans got to understand. They work for us. Right. We y'all bosses. And we want y'all in office every day. Ain't no work from home no more. Ain't no sessions you taking. You're going to work. You got the premium health care. The premium pay. Go the fuck to work. As a matter of fact, fuck it, you're fired in my Donald Trump voice. Get you out of here.
You're fired. Well, since they doing us wrong, we definitely need to start saving money, right? I mean, that's very important. Stocks and investments, right? In the retirement. So, I mean, Mr. Johnson, I know you've been clamoring to talk about this, man. So I'm gonna give you the floor on this one.
Well, you know, it really depends. You know, I mean, I think everybody should have start with a 401k. You know, some people with their jobs, they 401k or a pension or both. You know, but I don't know who all watches stocks every day, but right now the big thing and the way to make money real fast if you're investing is in tech stocks. So you know, in semiconductors, like if you have stock in, you know, these tech companies, I mean, even Tesla. I mean, I don't like Elon Musk, but Tesla is on its way coming back. Their stocks are going up. Nvidia.
How much is the stock?
I couldn't tell you off my hand. I know it's gone up because it was down because they were losing a lot of money because a lot of people were basically boycotting Tesla, but it's slowly going its way back up. But
so let me ask you, still with us, Ski?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you. I mean, what's the tricks of the trade that you got to fall back on? I mean, do you got to retire?
So just an update. Tesla stock is down. It's not up. It's down. It's not up. It's down by 12%. It's down.
I'm gonna tell you what I learned.
No, I'm just saying. I just put it up because I mean, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm headed to be a future lawyer. So if you ever need to retain me, last name is Gray. No, I'm just saying. But yeah, so I'm just a fact finder. They need to hire me. No, just wait. But no, so it's down.
They do need to hire you.
But Mr. Johnson is definitely correct though. But my Mr. Johnson is definitely correct on the stocks and having some portfolio of the 401k, the Roth, the RA, the different orange accounts, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Just have some money somewhere. Shit, if you listen, you got to start with a shoebox or the little $1,000 little book on TikTok. Just have some emergency cash. What I do say in stocks too, I have commodities. I have stock in commodities like rice and grain and steel. You know what I'm saying? I have commodities in that because those are needs. You know what I'm saying? So, you should have a couple of those little things put up in a book or somewhere on an email or, whatever, advisor have the information. You know what I'm saying? Because those are things that you need to live, survive, infrastructure, whatever, So I would just have a couple of those things in there. And I'm not the Wall Street girl. It's just I'm self-taught. I've been on Bitcoin when it first came out. Everybody thought Bitcoin was a big old but I got my Bitcoin for $3,500. It went up and went down. You know what I'm saying? Right now my Bitcoin is sitting at about 54K. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a wallet, my godfather, he is the crypto guru, he's in it too, like up here, I'm down here, I'm at the level of blockchain. I know what to do, I know the basis, I know what to look at, that type of stuff. But diversify your money, whatever money you got. If you got $10, $12, put it on those little apps that you got on Cash App or your phone or whatever, do the little roundup, do the Acorn, do the little shit that, what I'm saying, buy the little stocks for 1 cent, because I bought some stock for 1 cent, some little shit for 1 cent. I held it for like a week. I sold them all for $1. Well, you know what I'm saying? So it's small stuff, you just diversify your money. For me, I got the commodities, I got the Bitcoin. I got a couple of stocks that I had. I got Seattle's Best, which was now Starbucks. I have one, I have one stock. So, that's going to my daughter and my grands. You know what I'm saying? I got that when I was 19. You know what I'm saying? So, I just would say diversify your money. If you got to start small, and if you don't have you self-employed, I would say put the cash up. I'm about to stop banking. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna just stop banking. Bank is not the best move. We need to get away from that. That's one thing we need to get away from is banking.
You don't really get that much interest off of
you get nothing off your yielding, nothing. Even in Orange account, I think I'm just now yielding 4.3%, and it's been in there for I swear to God, 12 years, 13 years. I'm just being, you know what I'm saying? So I would just say the high yielding things to me is the tech, the commodities and stuff like that.
A lot of, as far as commodities go, I think that's good. When the market's down, because commodities, you need them.
That's what I'm saying. You need them. So it's gonna. You can sit on it. You can tax. You can do whatever you want. But it advises you to be fair.
But we gotta explain to them too. Now we gotta explain to them too, because now when you was talking about Tesla, I get what you're saying as far as Tesla. Jumping on the Tesla and buying stock, but it has to be the right stock.
Yeah. It has to be the right stock.
Yeah, because what I'm learning by doing it is that you have to find certain, like you said, Ski, you got to find them small companies, the ones that's not worth a lot, and they continue to build. Because most of the time, the ones what is it, Saxman and Gold, and
Apple,
other companies
Starbucks,
like that,
and all the ones that's already out there. You know what I'm saying? That's
it's like you basically giving them your money. They basically just you just basically giving them your money, dealing with them companies, unless you really got a huge piece of stock in there.
But you got to get that stock a while ago, or some A stock.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Ain't getting, you know what I'm saying? You're not coming in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if you got $1 million to spend in stock, you might as well just go buy something to create your own shit. You know, so you just got $1 million.
But see, that's what they doing with the AI now. That's where the AI is coming into play. See, what they doing is they making you pay for these little AI machines to find certain stocks for you to build your money up. But sometimes it's a hit or miss too, though.
That's not how you do it. You do it by, you go on CNBC and you watch them. There's a
or you go on Bloomberg because they break it down for you.
Bloomberg
Bloomberg
too,
will tell you everything. Bloomberg will tell you the ones to pass on, which ones you can beginners. I mean, they just they give you the ups and downs. You know what I'm saying of it. But
I watch on CNBC, comes on at 5:00. It's called Mad Money. That guy.
I've seen.
Oh yeah. I like that guy.
And that dude, I've taken his advice, and I mean, I haven't gotten rich off it, but I've made a little bit in a short period of time just by listening to him. If I didn't listen to him, I would have lost money.
Hey, and that's
tell the people.
He was talking about, and the thing is, people need to look in your 401ks because 401ks has a bunch of different companies, in like mutual funds, and you have to see like what companies are in those mutual funds. Because if you have crap companies in your mutual funds, you're not going to make any money. You need to make sure that who you're dealing with, they have a balance, like she was saying, commodities. Also, I think you need to have, if that's, a good portion of that, you need to have at least half where you're dealing with tech companies. Now, not just Tesla. There's other ones out there. Meta's good. NVIDIA. NVIDIA, they make the chips. And the dude's name is Wang. And he makes the best chip. And China wants it, but he ain't going to give it to China. He has no intentions. He's going to give them old stuff, but he wants to make the new stuff for America.
I got it.
But I think what he wants to do is subcontract workers out of China to help make these new chips for America, though.
And those are the ones. Yeah, that's the one. I watched that too. I watched, and those are the ones that you want to put your money on, invest in. Those startup AI companies, the ones that's making those chips, those are the ones. Because the ones that's already established, like even with Warren Buffett's company, there ain't no sense of you putting money into Warren Buffett's company. It's not gonna make you no money.
Not as far as stocks. I mean, like I said, if your 401k plan has like mutual funds where you have some shares of Berkshire Hathaway, that's good because it's kind of balanced out. It's stable. You're not going to lose a whole lot of money. You might not gain a lot in a short period of time, but it keeps it balanced. But you need to have like more than just that in your portfolio. I mean, if you're going to do just strictly stocks, you need to look at what is going to make you the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. If you're looking for a long haul, stocks aren't the way to go. 401ks, mutual.
Sorry, y'all.
Are you good?
But you need to make sure that they have a good amount of, because right now, what is hot is tech companies. Like I said, Meta.
So look, let me say about that. Okay, so look, only think about tech companies. Investing in tech companies. So I'm a person about tech is fine, but just make sure the tech is tech has some integrity, that's not intrusive, that's not, what I'm saying, that it's what I'm saying.
Do your research, basically. What you're telling them.
You'll be mad if you go and invest in these tech companies, and then you over here on surveillance, under attack. You got money, you can't turn it off. Okay, so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess if you care about that type of thing, because I care about where I put my money, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be linked to no situation where they're over here doing this to third people or creating these types of things and stuff. I don't want to be investing in that. That's not my stilo. So when it comes to tech, you really have to look into what the business is. I mean, if you care about that, if you have integrity in that side of things. And also with tech, those fine lines of reading a print is very thin and little, and you have to read it for real. Like, just read it. You know what I'm saying? Just read.
When there's good things and bad things with tech companies. When, like, say, the United States is doing okay. The markets are doing okay. Tech companies usually thrive the best. But when the markets are not doing good, tech companies suffer the most, usually, versus like commodities. Commodities are more conservative, they're more of a gradual incline, but they won't suffer as fast as like a tech company if the market is down. But that's why I say it's good to have an equal blend of like different things in your portfolio, not just all a tech or all a commodities or you know uh, real estate, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, it is. It is over that hour mark, man. We're gonna try to keep it at least right
Yeah.
there.
All right, y'all. It's always good seeing you, friend. It was nice meeting you, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
I love y'all. I'm past my bedtime. I work both my jobs today, y'all.
Right,
All right.
All right,
Mr. Double
appreciate you
OG.
coming on.
You
Appreciate you
welcome
coming on.
anytime. It's nothing but love.
No doubt, no
All
doubt
right, y'all.
about
Till
it.
we meet again. Stay blessed. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
appreciate you. And Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna give you the floor one more time. I know you want to give one more synopsis on your stocks and investment, man. Give them a quick synopsis real quick, and we're gonna close it out.
Well, like I was saying before, I think it's good to have a portfolio that has a balanced blend, but I think you need to make sure that in your portfolio that you see, a trend of like what a company did in the last year, what a company did in the last 3 years, 5 years, and up to 10 years. If that company has not made interest of, we'll say if it's a company that's been around 15, 20 years, let's say, if that company has not made at least 10% interest over the last 10 years, like you look at the 10-year period up till now, 10 years ago, did it average 10% or more? Then that's a good stock. Or, in your fund, if you can like have control over which companies you want to pick from, those are the companies that you want to pick from. Don't pick a company where, okay, you look at a trend from, 10 years ago and it's only averaged 4% interest. That's not going to make you any money. Even if you're putting away for a good 20, 30 years your money, you want to try to get the most interest you can, so it basically doubles whatever you're putting away. So that's why I say stay away from stocks and different companies that don't show any interest of 10% or more over a 10-year period, that don't at least average that. Now,
Yep.
newer company, like let's say that it's a newer company and let's say they started, we'll say 7 years ago, so they went through COVID hurt a lot of companies.
A lot of companies.
But let's say let's say they started in like we'll say 2018, and during that period up till today, 2025, let's say they've averaged 8 or 9% interest. That's still good because that's less of a period, and they've shown, especially if right now they're doing well, like over the 8% interest. But you look at the history from when they started 8 years ago, even if it's averaged 8 or 9%, it's probably not a bad company. They're probably kind of on a trend like upwards, and probably want to keep a close eye on them, see how they do in the next 3 years to decide if that's one you want to keep in your portfolio or if you want to move to something else.
Yep. And before we go, just to let people know, don't use that AI stuff. They AI stuff, all it is just going to charge you, and you might as well just put some of that money on whatever you're going to invest inside. You're just going to have to do a little leg work. You're going to have to do a little digging, a little research.
To me,
what'd you say? CNBC as well. Definitely watch CNBC, because CNBC is going to give you the ups and downs of what stocks going on. Because, the big ones like Dow Jones.
You have, I'll put it like this.
It's always going to go up and down every single day.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down.
Right. You have CNBC, you have Fox Business. But to me, what I benefited from is CNBC. I feel like the people that, are, and it's not, and they give you up-to-date regular news information, but it's like real short. They give you just like the now, not something, that happened like last week. They give you like up-to-date what's happening right now, because they don't have time to discuss stuff from last week, because they're steady trying to give you up-to-date information as far as money goes.
Right. So, Mr. Johnson, man, appreciate you coming on, man.
We'll
have you back on. We can definitely talk about this a little more too, and we can show the progress so people can actually see what's going on. Like, I don't know. We'll figure that out in a little bit. But yeah, we'll show them how it progressive. Show a little bit of your stock. I might be showing a little bit of mine. So they can see, what we talking about here. Because everybody needs to fall back on something, man. You can't be working forever.
Right.
For real. So, and especially if you got kids, you definitely need to be figuring out certain strategies and a fallback plan. Because some people they don't really like talking about this until it's too late, and it's never too late to talk about this. But I do
say going out on that note real quick. I would say every paycheck that somebody gets, you should save at least 10% of your paycheck. So if you get, it doesn't matter if you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, you should, or yearly, you should take 10% of your every weekly, yearly, monthly earnings and put that away. And whether you put half of it in the bank and half of it invest it, then that's up to you. But you should definitely pay yourself 10% of what you get paid each time.
Well, we're going to leave it on that note right there, man. Appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. We out of here. Let You Know podcast.
Cool.
Let you know.